you're sitting at home and you've got your grandchildren on your knee. What's the one story you tell them about your career? What's the one thing you tell them about?
I don't think I'd tell anything, to be honest. If ever that situation arose, I think so far, I think it would kind of be the kind of magic of the World Cup. I think the way we got there was by flair or by fault we got there in the end, and I think into the final, and I think the whole week and the whole atmosphere and the way the guys kind of felt about themselves and the way we felt in the semi-final, that victory, I mean, ultimately falling short, and I hope in a couple of years' time I have the story of us actually winning it. But nevertheless, if my career was end tomorrow and stuff, touch wood, but that would probably be what I would tell them about.
Tell us about the journey to the final, sort of winning games on the way, but knowing that you couldn't celebrate because it wasn't all over.
Yeah, it's an odd one. I think that's the best thing. It's some of the best times of your career, especially for me when I was young. I was 21, 22, and it was pretty amazing. But yeah, that's the hard thing. I think the big thing is a squad staying together, because there's ultimately 8 guys that don't get to play. But all in all, I think it's just the feeling and the atmosphere around it, and not being able to sleep until kind of 4 in the morning because your mind keeps racing. But these are the kind of things you never really forget. And I think the way you handle yourself post-match and knowing that you've won, and ultimately how fantastic it is. You've got the biggest game of your career the next week, and then again and so it keeps going on, which is brilliant. I think it's something you never forget. Was
there a point where you sensed people believed that you might be able to do it?
Yeah, I think so. I think no matter how much you keep distance yourself from kind of press and people and make sure you keep inwards as a team, I think when the questions are poised or raised during the week, you get an understanding of what the kind of current belief is and stuff. And for sure, I think after we beat Australia, there was a massive sense of belief. And I think the irony was we weren't going home, because you have to stay for 2 weeks no matter what. You have to stay for the 3rd, 4th place playoff. So that kind of relief was fantastic. And the guys just went out there and played. And I think, to beat France in their own back garden and then obviously go in and then play South Africa in the final, I think there was a massive certain amount of belief. And of course, I think we were playing on the fact, of course, they beat us in the group stages, but ultimately there was a huge amount of belief.